All right, next up we've got our, I don't know, I call them the classics. These are the four brands that I consider or kind of got me into customs. Kind of is like the next progression. So from lower end productions to the large companies to some of the more, smaller, I don't know, companies and whatnot. But getting into knife collections, you start hearing about Emerson's, Chris Reeve, Strider, and Hinderer. Those are the big four, for me at least. And then I have in here also Lion Steel and a Jason Browse here that I'm going to just include in here, not to categorize them, but just for space issues. So anyway, we're going to start with the Emersons. Emersons are one of the companies that I really got into. I've had almost every single Emerson outside of the high-end customs or CQC6 or anything like that. But these are the ones that are left in my collection. So my favorite Emerson of all time, this is the CQC 13. Bowie construction, just absolute amazing ergonomics on this handle. Emerson, standard G10, steel and then titanium lock side, 154 cm blade steel, but just overall design of the Emersons are absolutely amazing. So CQC 13. Then also another design that I really like is the CQC 15 with the recurved tanto blade, also extremely ergonomic. Kind of this, I don't know, I wouldn't say double hilt, but you have a guard in the back and a guard in the front. Really locks your hand in. The amazing stone wash finish on his blade with the satin grind. So just an awesome blade. Nice wedge on there. You got the standard V grind with the chisel edge on the Emerson. So again, same configuration as just about any other Emerson. Here you have a I'm sorry, not CQC, a mini Roadhouse. This one has the wave ground off of it. I bought it like this. I included a Federal 45 caliber bullet bead on there, or not bead, I guess thumb disc deployment. Actually allows you to wave the Roadhouse out now. So that's kind of nice. Again, standard finish of everything. Got a steel flame Bushido clip to kind of customize it, give it a little bit of flair. This is an awesome knife as well. So three of my favorite Emersons in my collection. And then I also have the Combat Karambit. I don't know why I have this knife, but it's a fun knife to have in the collection. And I always joke about the possibility of getting into class where you can learn knife fighting and whatnot. And this is kind of just a cool knife to be able to have in the collection. So really like the Combat Karambit. Got one more here that I didn't put on the table. This is a customized CQC6, not CQC6, I'm sorry. It used to be a CQC7. This was customized by Reese Wieland. So turned this into a Pool Boy 6. Did a titanium frame on here, and then this is a steel backspacer, and then did a frame lock conversion for this knife, and then did a regrind, hollow regrind and tanto edge on here. So beautiful job by Reese Wieland, and then rounded out with a titanium USA Knife Makers pocket clip on there. So really cool blade, definitely one that I like to have in my collection. So I'll just kind of put this one right here. Next we get into the Chris Reeves. I'm not putting an S on there, but I pluralized it. So Chris Reeve knives. This is the standard small Sebenza. You can see a lot of the use on the titanium. Lockup is pretty late on here, but this is CPMS 30V blade steel. So what can you say about the Sebenzas? Whatever you do say about Chris Reeves' business practices or customer care, that's, I don't know, that's one thing, but his knives, you can't really deny the quality of his knives. Fit and finish on these knives is the industry standard. So Then you have a small Sebenza or a small Insingo with micarta handles, or I'm sorry, micarta inlays on the knife. I love the Sebenza with inlays, especially the micarta ones. So this one has the blued hardware on here. The Insingo blade shape is awesome. I love it. Very functional, kind of basically like a modified Wharncliffe. You see just how smooth this knife is. Just falls down when you disengage the lock bar. Here's the knife that I compare every knife to in all my reviews, whether it be size comparisons or construction comparisons or whatever. This I still hold as the industry standard for any low production knife or high custom knife. I'm going to compare it to this knife. It is the classic look, the straight handles, the clip point blade, or yeah, I think clip point blade, hollow grind, just the overall look of this knife, pocket clip and everything. This, in my opinion, is still one of the most perfect knives out there. Again, fit and finish so smooth on this knife, flips out just great if you can get your thumb in that thumb stud, but as a overall worker user knife, this is still the industry standard. So Sebenza 21. I have yet to get a Sebenza 25, but you know, even then I still think the Sebenza 21 is the, you know, maybe one of the ultimate EDC carries. Just fits great in the pocket and everything. So alright, next up is the Emerson. This one is Scotch Brided on the titanium. I love the titanium contrast between these lines and then the flattened Scotch Brided titanium. It's got the kind of harpoon tip on here. So I'm not going to go into review. I shouldn't talk too much about these things, but I have the Southern backspacer on here as well. So that's pretty rare. These are pretty hard to come by, but you put those together and I think this is a really great, you know, slightly harder use Sebenza, if you will. But Emerson and Sebenza are definitely, you know, two of my favorites in my collection. Can't see myself ever getting rid of these knives, no matter what's said about Chris Reeve. So I have a large regular Sebenza here as well. Kind of as a collector's piece. I've never used this one. I really like the blade profile, slightly different from Sebenza 21, as well as the handle construction on here, but it's pretty much your standard, you know, straight edge, very ergonomic with, you know, everything is perfect on this knife. So the regular and the 21 are absolutely great knives. Next up I have the Lion Steel. This is the SR1 with the titanium handles. This one is featuring the Chad Nichols iguana pattern Damascus. This is from Knife Art. Absolutely beautiful design. Lion Steel, I don't think they get enough credit for what they do. Obviously their claim to fame is the integral titanium frame lock and their roto block over travel system. But this is a phenomenal knife. Very smooth, extremely smooth actually. Flips out pretty well if you can get. For some reason I can't flick this one out that well, but overall this is just a wonderful knife. I've owned like 4 or 5 I think SR1s, and this is the one that's stayed in my collection, obviously because of Damascus. You see that shimmering in the light. Absolutely beautiful knife. Alright, getting into the Striders, I have a Lego PT right here. I've taken off the pocket clip, just it's nice to drop in your pocket. CPM S30V blade steel on here. PT is, I didn't think I would like the PT, but after carrying it, this is extremely light. It's actually lighter than a Sebenza, and this is just a really cool knife. You know, I love Striders. As a small user to just store in my pocket, I go between this one and the Sebenza and the Techno, the Spyderco Techno, and but for an extremely light one, I find myself reaching for this one because you don't have 2 titanium slabs like the Techno or the Sebenza. So Here you have the Strider SJ75, the Baby Huey. Another awesome example of a Strider. Definitely not the conventional S&G shape, but I love the hollow grind on here. I love the flame pattern on the SJ. Ergonomics on this knife are phenomenal. So solid lockup. Yeah, I can't say enough about the SJ. I use this kind of as a sort of more aggressive formal carry sometimes. So I enjoy this knife a lot. S&Gs. This one is the PD1 micro melt version with 3/4 grind. It's got the Coyote Brown scale. I just absolutely love this knife. One of my favorite knives of all time. Love the ergonomics. Just overall, the way you can bear down on this knife is just amazing. And the PD1 steel is great. This is a Lego pattern. It's got the peak gray lock bar stabilizer as well. And then you have the S&G CC, the concealed carry version with the hunter green or olive drab G10 side. CC version is awesome. Really, just as it is, you know, CC concealed carry, it really fits the pocket well. Love this knife. And then here's the S&G double gunner grip, the DGG. This one also features the 3/4 grind S30V of Tiger Stripe. Double gunner grip, just another great finish. I thought I was going to sell this one as a catch and release, but once I had it in my hand, the overall look and colors, I love it. And then the SMF Tonto. This is just an absolute beast of a knife. I mean, you just look at the tip here, it's just completely thick to the tip. This is a Lego version. It's humongous. Sandblasted or bead blasted finish on this knife here. But overall, this is a pretty cool knife. I have a long story behind this knife, and I won't get into it now, but this is kind of the bane of my existence right now. Alright, getting into Hinderers. I have 4 Hinderers now in my collection. This is the standard XM18 with S35 blade steel. This is a Gen 4 Hinderer. This one I did bronze anodize the lock side and then blue anodize the the pocket clip tab and then the pocket clip, and then I have the titanium frag scale that I also anodized the bronze, and then it has a bronze purple liner in here, and then the standard, not the standard, but the titanium standoffs for the XM18. So this is an incredible knife. What can you say? I mean, the Hinderers are great and well-built knives, and in this configuration, it's heavy with all the titanium, but it is a bruiser of a knife. Then this is kind of like a formal carry Hinderer for me. This one features the carbon fiber scale, smooth scale. This is featuring, you guys have seen it probably, the grind regrind. This is one of the thinnest, leanest grinds that I've ever had on any knife. Tom Crine really is a genius in his regrinds. I think this regrind is better than any custom grind that I've seen from Hinderer, honestly. And this one is extremely smooth, flips out, I always do that, flips out really well. D10 is better than most Hinderers that I've felt here. So it's a lean slicer, so that's why I kind of would consider this somewhat of a formal Hinderer carry. I do have the copper standoffs as well on this one. Alright, next up is the Hinderer XM18. I'm sorry, XM24 flipper. This has got the safety orange G10 scale. This is a Gen 3, I think, XM24, or Gen 2. I think they're all the same for now. But this one is featuring the sterile bladed CTS XHP, so engraved in that way. So this is a great heavy use knife. This one I've never used, so I am selling this one as well. So if you guys are interested, this one is in great condition, brand new condition. This one is my user XM24. It's got the titanium frag scale I'm not sure if this was from Monkey Edge. I think this was actually direct from Hinderer. But titanium frag scale, it's got the Hinderer anodized blue standoffs here for the 24, and then for the titanium anodized blue on the frame lock side as well from Hinderer. And then it's got, this is obviously the non-flipping version. This is featuring 20 CV blade steel, but I've used this one extensively out in the field and stuff like that, and this is just an awesome knife for sure. All right, and then, oh my gosh, and last but not least, to round off this section, is the Jason Brous Silent Soldier. This is my favorite design from Jason Brous of all time. I love the hole here. I guess it's not a thumb hole, but just the way this knife engages in your hand I love this. I'm not a knife fighter, but the potential of this knife and how much damage you can do, just punching damage kind of thing, is really awesome. So I absolutely love this knife. Can't see myself ever getting rid of this knife, but yeah, this is awesome. His newer versions of the titanium frame lock with the tip down carry. I wish this had the tip down carry clip, but this is the first generation Brous Silent Soldiers. This, again, my favorite design from Jason Brous of all time. So, Silent Soldier. Alright, that rounds out section 3 of the collection video. Stay tuned for the next one.